And welcome to the JBJ Management Podcast. I'm Willis Johnson, and you are?
I'm Samantha Gordon.
And I'm Cameron Powell.
Well, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy
We
New
made
Year.
it. Another trip around the sun. How are you guys feeling about 2024 so far?
I think it's going to be a great year.
I do too. I do
excited
too.
for it.
Optimistic, enthusiastic. I hate to put a damper on it after saying all of that. But as a friend, it's interesting because I never looked at it like this. A friend of mine said to me several years ago, "How many more Christmases do you think you have?"
I'm glad you brought that up. There is a famous...
Both of y'all.
Well, wait.
Both of y'all.
Well, wait. Now think about that.
No.
How many more Christmases do you think you'll celebrate?
I had this exact conversation with a few people recently because there was an old Eddie Murphy clip that went viral again from I forget which movie. And he says, essentially the average life expectancy in the U.S. is 75, 78 years. That means you get 75 summers. How many summers have you already went through?
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a finite number. And when you put it in that perspective,
You got 20 summers left.
you're like, oh.
It makes you appreciate every moment a little bit more, I think.
I think it does. So when you say, how was the year? I mean, excited about the year. It should be a good year. It made me think about, when you first said that, though, it made me think about Congresswoman Willis Johnson, who was the longest serving Congresswoman in America when she stepped down in 2023. And she died on December 31st. She didn't see 2024. Death is it rattles your cage. It makes you go, wow, really? Because most people had plans the day that they died.
Always, yeah. You never know.
You check their cell phone. They had anticipated going some other place. So, but I'm with you, Samantha. I think 24 is going to be a great year that I know of.
One can only hope. Speaking of the new year, are you guys big on tradition, on superstition, on whatever you want to call it? Did you eat your black eyed peas? Did you sweep out the house? Did you do any of those kind of things?
Eat the grapes under the table.
That makes so much sense. No, I saw people eating grapes under a table, and I was like, what are they doing?
Yeah, I seen a video, and all the grapes were sold out of the grocery.
But then the other side of that is they were eating grapes, but they were also drinking wine under the table. So it's kind of the other side of that is.
I think you have to ask, where do these traditions come from? Then that sounds like something, honestly, from Italy. I don't really know.
Right.
Grapes, wine under the table. Sounds like Italy to me. I don't know.
I always grew up on having to eat black eyed peas on New Year's. That was the thing for us.
Yeah, I did that. My wife does a black eyed pea thing. It's like shrimp in it and okra.
Like gumbo, yeah.
Ooh, that sounds so good.
Oh, it is.
So good.
Do you guys have any other special meals that you do for Christmas, for Thanksgiving? What's your favorite holiday meal?
It's always been for me Thanksgiving and Christmas.
I'm a sides girly.
Right.
I could eat all the sides, and none of the mains. Like, I don't need turkey. I don't need ham. But I will eat all the sides, like green bean casserole, my favorite. Mashed potatoes, any kind of mashed potatoes, so good. So I'm more of like sides person, but probably the green bean casserole, because that really only seems to come out on Thanksgiving or Christmas for my family.
So here's an ethnic
Your
question.
bread too, though. Don't hold on.
The bread. So on it, it's funny. We don't make the bread for like family, really, like Christmas dinner. No one gets the bread. Like
bread that you bring up here, because it takes forever for you to make it.
How long does it take, Sam? Explain the bread.
It takes 10 days. So you make a starter,
and then it takes 10 minutes to eat it.
Exactly. Well, I make y'all the smaller loaves because there's so many people. Normally, my mom makes the bigger loaves. She has like a bigger loaf pan that she uses. I don't use that. I use a smaller one because I have to make more than she does. She normally makes like 10 at a time. I probably make like 35 at a time. So
Well, it reminds me of gingerbread that I grew up on. So that's probably why I really like it. It's so close to gingerbread, which I don't. You'll be surprised when your mother passes. It's just some stuff you don't get anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can go through a list of stuff. You never think about how unique that was until, whoa.
You know what you're missing till it's gone.
It's in their head, too. Like, I can think of my grandmother who had all these pies, and my dad will be like, why don't you ever make your grandma's pies? And I'm like, because it was all in her head. I tried. I used to sit down with her, and I would try and do it. And I just...
Traditions aren't what they used to be, I feel like.
Why is that?
That's a great question. I feel like growing up...
It's got to be your generation.
Well,
because the leather caps are still doing.
The thing is, who are we supposed to learn it from, right? Like, if we have no one to teach us.
That's a great point, but do you really want to learn?
That would be my question. Do you want to learn it?
I think it's a mix of both.
Well, I'll give you one. Like, if I say quilting, does that mean anything to you?
Mm-hmm.
No.
So
I mean, like knitting and crocheting, yeah.
Well, yes, in that vicinity, but my mom and her group, they would take old scraps of clothes and things,
towels and all kind of.
And you'd be surprised, and I still have my mother's quilts. I have about 24 of them.
Wow.
But the design,
right?
They're like architects.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
How they put that stuff together, I will never know.
And they're also different too, because then you get all the ladies that come in and they are all doing different ones, and you put it all together, and somehow it just works perfectly, seamlessly. Like,
so who does that now?
No one. The machine.
It's rare.
Yeah.
Do you quilt?
I don't. I knit. I crochet.
You know anybody that quilts?
No.
So see, that's my point. Now, where was that line when somebody stopped teaching it, or I don't know.
It's all about it's the family. Family gets destroyed, you lose a lot of that kind of stuff.
I think we're in an era. This is a great point. I think we're in an era of blended families.
Yeah.
The divorce rate is so high.
Yeah.
It's north of 50%.
Yeah, it's the highest it's ever been.
And so when people get remarried, now you have this merge, and they don't teach you that in wherever they teach.
I think all of us in here are a part of blended families.
It just happens.
Yeah, I think we all are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, neither does mine.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Blended family, right?
But that's not how it is for everybody. And some people,
very true.
Yeah, and so I think America is more blended family than ever before.
Mm-hmm.
Think about Joe Biden. His first wife died. He's remarried, so he's a part of a blended family. It's just what it is. Yeah. I mean, nothing wrong with it.
Right.
Let's just get used to it.
And speaking of the new year, I know I kind of talked on it a lot. Are you guys resolutioners? New year, new me kind of vibe, or are we just saying another day?
That's hard. I mean, it's not that I'm not. I'll do a resolution, but at the same time, I kind of I know what I want to accomplish,
right.
And I'm pretty good about setting goals for myself, regardless if it's a new year or not. So for me, for it to just come around again, I'm like, all right, just going to keep doing what I'm doing, give my best for everything that I do. Now when it comes to like working out and stuff, I work out. Right. I worked out prior to it, but I was excited when I did the first workout of the year, because I was like, all right, I did a workout. Have y'all worked out?
I have not.
So you haven't had your first workout in 2024?
I'm definitely getting into it. But it's funny you mentioned that, because I asked this question. Equinox, the famous luxury gym club,
right.
Kind of went viral last year for their stance on they weren't accepting any new members on January 1st because it's notorious. It's notorious that most people join, new year, new me. They have their New Year's resolution. They're going to start working out. They pay for a gym membership and they never go. And by February, they're back on the couch. And
why does Equinox care? They still get the money.
Right, which is a lot of people ask.
Why do they care?
But the publicity, I guess, made it a thing. I don't know. I mean, they're not hurting for anything. I know that much.
That's true.
But that was just kind of an interesting take on marketing.
Well, I've Yes, so I did my first workout, which is not a workout, that's a walkout.
Why you look so surprised?
Boss, you working out? What do you do? You too busy work out. I didn't think Boss hit the gym.
Like, you work out?
No.
I hope you got that on camera.
Walks
That was
are like-
good. That was a good face that he made.
I did make a face. I'm sorry. I didn't expect that.
That's a good one.
I walk like 3 miles
Yeah.
every morning.
I know you do. I did know you did morning walks.
So that's all. Yeah, it is. 45 minutes. But if you walk and drink water, you'd be surprised you can keep your weight reasonable.
Yeah.
Except during the holidays, when you get out of your routines, like I gained 7 pounds. Oh my God.
I struggle so hard to gain weight. It's
I don't have no problem doing that.
Walk out the door, Cam. Oh my goodness. Just
Like,
walk
it's-
on out. Go on.
I actually try to force that was one of the things I always like kind of wanted to, because just growing up super skinny your whole life, people tease you for being super skinny. You want to gain weight, you try to work out, you try to eat a bunch. It doesn't work. I lose weight sometimes trying to do that. It's insane, but I don't know.
There's a neighborhood that I'm just going to drop you in. Let you stay there for a year. You come back. Yeah, you'll buff you up a little bit.
We'll see.
We'll buff you up.
But yeah, I don't think I do the New Year's resolution thing very much.
I don't do resolutions. I did a resolution several years ago that I was never going to do a resolution again. And
Well, there you go. You
I've
upheld
kept
that one.
I've held that one. I don't believe in that.
Right. It's another day.
It is. I mean, I have goals that I try to set every day. It's something. I have a notebook that I'm writing stuff down on that I'm trying to keep up with. I don't. For a year? No way.
So, speaking of goals, do you guys have goals you set for this year yet, or you talk about it? That's one thing I'm kind of big on, is I try to set at least 5 goals every year to try to achieve by the end of the year. And I think it's interesting that when you write something down like that, you subconsciously work towards it. And I think before I did it, maybe I just didn't notice or I didn't acknowledge it. But since I've done that, at the end of the year, I kind of look back on those and I'll see I actually accomplished more than I thought I would, just without even really trying to. Do you guys write down goals? Do you pursue goals? I know you said daily, but yearly?
I mean, I know some things I want to get done, and then I'll look back over it at the end of the year. And yeah, usually I get them done. The first thing I want to do is live. You can hunk it off right there. And you can't, you can only control that up to a certain point. So, no, I don't. I've just learned to enjoy every day and maximize every day. One of the things that I try to do on a regular basis is invest into younger people and share my experiences. Now,
Wisdom.
well, some people just call, oh, you got another story. Here come another story. I call it experience. But, I was talking to somebody earlier today, and it's, oh, here comes the story. But it's tied to wherever I'm trying to go. So, I don't do resolutions, but I do have goals.
I agree with
Do
that.
have goals.
I think it's like a time of reflecting, just being grateful for a new year.
Right.
I don't necessarily make resolutions, but just a time of reflection, just trying to be grateful that I have another year.
And you do what, Sam?
I don't really write them down. I kind of the same thing. I have those goals and they normally carry over for me. It's not a yearly thing.
Yeah.
Like, I really just want to work towards them all the time. One of them I'm kind of excited for this year, like just looking forward to the year. It's going to be, I have a lot of weddings. Y'all always.
Sam and her wedding.
Oh, here we go. That's how you ended last year.
That's how I ended.
Wedding.
Oh, and I'm starting it right back up.
How do you
January
even
is
have
it.
that many friends that are getting married?
Sam, like 85% of Sam's PTO is to go to other people's weddings.
Oh,
Well,
it's like 90% of my
But we
PTO.
talked about this in a previous podcast. So when is your wedding?
No, gosh.
I'm sorry, Sam.
I kind of opened the gate on this one.
Yes, you did. So
No time soon. It's not even in the picture.
I
There's
think you have to
nothing
have a
going on.
boyfriend.
Yeah,
before
exactly.
You have a
Thank
husband.
you, John Christopher. It's not in.
so hold that thought. So, well, what's keeping you from having a
Oh,
boyfriend?
Lord. I can't help you, Sam.
I know it's a new year, but it's the same topic. Nothing's keeping me. Nothing's keeping me. I haven't found.
And
The
you
question is,
wanted-
what's keeping them, boss?
Oh,
Mm.
okay. Maybe.
Yeah, but it's something. I don't know what it is. I'm trying to get Samantha Gordon married off. You know, now back in the Western days.
Oh Lord!
Now here's the story. Now this is the story.
Here comes the story.
After
leather
a
caps.
certain age, they say, "Oh well." And I think Sam is past that age. If you were back in no, not
Boss, that's
today.
when the life expectancy was 40.
Well, yeah. So not
I
today.
had 75 Christmases.
Not today, but back in the day, they'd have called you an old maid by now.
I think
So,
Sam was a
what's
lot
the
like
hold
me.
up?
Not to speak for Sam, but Sam's a lot like me. Life is already good. Life is good. It could be better, but life is good.
Well, and I think I'm happy. And that's one of my things for this year. Like, I'm so happy, and I love supporting my friends. I enjoy that so much for me. Like, that makes me happy, is supporting my friends, being a part of their weddings, being a part of all the festivities that come with that, a bachelorette party, a bridal shower, a brunch, anything, just to support them because it's their happiness too. So that makes me really happy, which is hard. I know a lot of people are like, all right, when's it my turn? I'm next. And I've never had that feeling. I enjoy it for other people and I celebrate them. And
Sam
when
told
time
me and
comes, I'll
Cam
be
she
happy.
wants to be the rich aunt.
Well,
She said, I just
don't
want to
know
be the
about
rich
that.
aunt.
I am the aunt right now. I am the aunt.
well, I
I
think
got
the big thing is that
two
you are
nieces and
happy, and
nephew.
if you are happy, that's really that all that matters. We're going to go to a feature where we talk to Drew Pearson, and I remember talking to Drew about being happy. Drew Pearson lost his brother, and then he ended his NFL career in a car accident. His brother died, and Drew was driving the car, so it really made it put life on in perspective for him because of that. And so he was at the height of his career. He was an all-pro and all of that, and then had this car accident playing basketball. They were a basketball team in the offseason. He lost his brother, but after that, he said he just learned to be happy. He just learned to be happy about every day. So it'll be interesting to hear about Drew Pearson and his $150 signing bonus.
Wow.
$150 signing bonus. He was an undrafted free agent, but now he's in the Ring of Honor and he's in the Hall of Fame. So take a look at Super Drew Pearson. Listen, this is, can you see that, Drew?
Yeah, I can see it. Isn't that amazing?
How do you feel about that? Just, man, I just know tingles for me. How does that feel for you?
Willis, it's kind of strange. I thought I would, be more excited, but I was excited, but it was more controlled excitement. It wasn't yelling and hoo, giving high fives, calling everybody and all that kind of stuff. When Mr. Baker told me, it just kind of just sunk inward. And then what came outward was tears. I started crying. Willis, I haven't cried in a long time, and that's a good thing because, that means I haven't been to any funerals lately. But, the tears started coming, and then I started thinking about my childhood. While he's talking, I'm trying to listen to what he's saying, but memories of the childhood, running through South River, when my mom was looking for Drew. Where's Drew? Go find Drew. They knew where to go, to the ball field, to the schoolyard. I was there all the time. So anyway, I started thinking about those things. And then I said, man, I'm going to be in the NFL Hall of Fame. A skinny-legged kid from South River, New Jersey, 145 pounds coming out of high school, 165 pounds going into the NFL as an undrafted free agent, Willis. You remember I told the story about $150 sign bonus.
That's
14
don't know. $150 signing bonus. That's what they don't know, Drew.
150, and they paid me in cash. Okay, they didn't even give me a check, so I could, frame it.
Okay, so for this week on Can You Relate? Kind of a hot topic for our office.
I know it's coming.
No pun intended at all. Starbucks coffee. They did not sponsor today, but majority of us have Starbucks. But for
Courtesy
our
of Sam.
office, but for our office,
But go ahead.
McDonald's coffee. Oh, that's a
It's a yes.
It's so sweet.
Dutch Bros.
It's also so
I don't
sweet.
even drink coffee. I'm just saying stuff.
But
I need strong coffee. Like real strong. No sweet. But no, today they announced that, or starting today, you can bring your own cups into Starbucks and get them to fill them.
I thought they already did
that. No, this is like your own personalized.
Yeah.
I think you can do, it says starting today, January 3rd, 2024.
Oh.
Own clean personal cup. So you can, I think you were allowed to bring in their reusable ones.
Gotcha.
But it's your personal one. So
It's pretty cool.
like, can I bring in my Stanley cup and you fill that entire
But what if
thing?
it's
Well,
what if it's
speaking of-
dirty?
It says it has to be clean. So they did say that. But you get 10 cents off. They want to make it beneficial to you. You get a 10-cent discount and extra bonus points and stars on your app. And you could do it through the drive-thru. You could do it through the app, walk in, anything. So
I did. Speaking of Stanley cups are like, you know what a Yeti is, boss? Like
Sure.
the big, Stanley's like
Do I know
same
what a
thing as
Yeti
that,
is?
but
Okay, yeah.
I didn't.
Stanley's been around longer than Yeti.
But they're really popular right now. Is what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say. But they just did a collaboration with Starbucks. I just seen like today actually, where
So can I bring in my 32-ounce Stanley and they'll fill it? And
I mean they're selling a Starbucks branded Stanley at Starbucks now.
How much would that cost?
whatever it is, I
32
get
ounces.
10 cents off. I have no idea.
Well, 20 ounces is what? How much is a venti?
This was
$6?
$7.
So
Yeah.
it's probably like $8.
To me, when I hear Starbucks, I think about
Money going down the drain. My entire paycheck staying in this building.
well, a little bit of that. Starbucks has always been considered this $5 cup of coffee.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember a project that we worked on years ago in the Redbird area. The question was whether the people in that neighborhood could actually afford or had any interest in Starbucks. It now is the number one or number two Starbucks in the North Texas area. The line stays long around the drive-thru. But they just thought the people in that economic bracket would not support a Starbucks. And that's not just in Dallas. That's throughout a lot of cities. Starbucks is not on the south side or the west side of a lot of neighborhoods just because of the economics in it. And so why would you spend $5 for a cup of coffee? But people do.
I have a crazy theory about Starbucks and kind of just like bars in general too. When somebody takes the time to make you a drink, it's different than when you go to a restaurant and you ask for a soda and they walk over to one of the little machines and they just push it and it just comes out. When you have someone that is sitting there and making your drink and doing all of the things with it, people will pay for that. They want that. I don't know why. It's like this small luxury that people just want. When you go to a bar and you sit at the bar and you watch the bartender make your drink, you'll order more because you want to see them do it again or because you're enjoying it and just the atmosphere of having someone there that's
Community.
yeah. I don't.
There's something to that. I mean, that's why people hang out at bars. The bartender is a big drawing card, how he or she communicates. There was this show years ago called Cheers, and everybody was all about the bartender. My granddaughter, my oldest, I have one that's 5 months. I have one that's 25 years old. She's a bartender. And that's a big thing for her. Personality. And I've seen a whole different personality in her because now she's got to talk to people and engage into, well, Cameron, you look like Jalen Hurts and how did Philadelphia eat? That kind of conversation.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's amazing what somebody making something for you. On the other hand, I don't want to talk to the bartender.
Right. Give me my drink, please.
I don't want to talk to the wait staff. You know, I don't want you to refill my drink until I tell you to, just because you see it half full. Then they come through and they put more in. No, I have the lemon the way I want it. I have the Splenda the way I want it, and you just messed it up.
It's the worst.
Don't do that. Just don't even talk to me.
I'm shocked to hear that.
The
from
more,
you. I
the
really
more you
am.
talk, the
From a
lower
Hall
your
of
tip.
Fame radio
I
host.
know. I'm shocked.
I'm not
Everybody's what I call people meter. Everybody's people meter runs out at a certain point.
Yes,
I'm
and
not a
apparently
talker.
yours is at the restaurant.
I'm just not a talker. I'm not a. If I'm there, I'm talking to the person I'm there with.
Right.
And if you see me alone, I don't want to be bothered. I'm just.
So if we see you out and you're doing your own thing, we shouldn't come up and say hi.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Let
But
him have
don't
his fun.
linger long. Go on.
Hey man, aren't you that guy that does that podcast? Can I get a selfie?
I'm counting on that one day. This is the JBJ Management Podcast. We'll see you next week. It's Willis Johnson and Samantha Gordon. Cameron Powell. See you next
Jalen
week.
Hurts.
Every time I leave the house.